Hello everybody, it is Pineapple here, back with another video. So today we are going to be talking about Masterduel, specifically the brand new Forbidden and Limited list that was just released earlier today. It doesn't go into effect until September 1st, but it is probably Masterduel's biggest and probably best ban list because it actually addresses, one, a lot of problem cards, and two, it starts to sort of, neuter tier in ways that are actually going to be noticeable and that you are going to feel the impact in when you play against tier element. I think this is a pretty solid ban list, but we'll hop right into it and the discussions that result from this. First up, Rongo. Thank God this card is gone. I can't believe this card was legal for, a year and a half that Masterduel has been around. Numbers Avail runs around, and dumb cheese Rongo decks exist. No one is losing anything by this card being banned. It's a dumb FTK tool. And frankly, no one is going to miss this card. There has never been an enjoyable game where Rongo Nimiad has been summoned, so good riddance, goodbye, Toodaloo, you will not be missed. Next up, Agido is banned. This is very tragic for the tier players, but, only having access to one copy of the Millers is, fantastic news for everyone who is not a tier element player. That said, this is a very dramatic shift because if you go for Keldo effect to search another Earth Fairy, you cannot grab a Gido, and then, if you pitched Kelback, then immediately revive the Kelback and then make a rank 4. This is a pretty substantial hit. I think I would have preferred Kelback to be banned because Kelback is also a hand trap. Just overall, I think it's a stronger card. But, getting rid of one of the Millers, that result is, pretty much the same, even if I would have preferred the other one to be banned. But end of the day, good riddance, goodbye, you will not be missed. Especially in a best of one format, seeing all your stuff get milled is very frustrating and allows tier to high roll in crazy, ridiculous ways. So long, Toodaloo. And then we have Bish Balkan. This card is never used in anything fair, like Rongo Nimiad. Just dumb FTK tool. It's been abused in about 1,000 different decks. And there is nothing that is lost by, banning a dumb FTK. This card isn't played in any actual real decks. The only real deck I would guess you could argue is Monadium as a Crimson Dragon target, so that you can make, Hot Red Dragon Calamity the guy, and, as a thought your opponent. So, never have seen this card used in a fair way, except maybe for Tistina to put some tokens on board, but that deck's not going to be here for a year and a half, so good riddance, Bish Balkan. You will not be missed either. The Lego Dragon has been banned, finally. It took them a year and a half. Adamant Spader is now at the same power level as it is in the TCG, which is, unplayable garbage. And to that, I say good riddance. Adamant Spader is a deck that you look at and it's just like build a board, negates. Not a fun deck to play against. It never has been, never will be. So the Lego Dragon being banned is a, fantastic news. Get rid of him. No one wants to see him. No one will miss him except the Adamant Spader players who don't actually want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! They want to play Solitaire. So to that, I say goodbye to your +3s. Merly has been banned. This is probably one of the most interesting hits. It changes tiers board a lot. Specifically, they can only perform 2 fusions a turn now as a result, which means that if you Bistio one of them, they can only end on Kick Kalos, so very, very substantial hit. Additionally, because Merly is the 2, it means they can't play Sprint. They're not going to want to play Sprint to send like Merly, which means they have no real guaranteed lines in order to dump a tier name, except for Rhino and Kick Kalos. But if you're sending a tier name with Kick Kalos, that's really bad because you would much prefer to, send a tier name or add, Sulliek or Crime. So this is a very, very substantial hit. Just, big hit. Additionally, you can't bring her back with Elf, which is very nice because, you can't bring back with Elf, which means the mill 3, although Elf will probably still be banned to revive Diviner, and Diviner in order to dump Kelback. But the fact that this gets most of the Sprite cards out of tier element is a welcome sign. Just enables so much less, like, recursion, as much as a whole bunch of other stuff. Just, good riddance. I think this is a really solid hit. You could argue Halfness should be in Merly's place, but I think that removing the Sprite cards to keep Elf legal is probably a poor decision, but that card is, a problem in and of itself. But I think we're going to see a lot more Chaos Ruler tier element, especially since they only have 2 names now. They need to, high roll pretty strongly. So goodbye to Merly. Rest in peace. Branded Fusion to 1. I don't really understand this hit. Branded is not a deck that is playing ladder, and if it is, it's a grass variant with tier names and stuff. And Branded Fusion to 1 doesn't really change anything except, I guess, reducing like the grind. But I don't think anyone is losing any sleep over Branded. Expulsion is banned. They don't have Sanctifier yet, so Puppet isn't going to be a problem. This is a weird hit. I'm not sure I agree with it, but it is a hit that happened. It doesn't ultimately change anything. I guess now you only have 5 copies of Branded Fusion instead of 6. But end of the day, I don't think it ultimately changes anything except hurting the recursion, which is unnecessary. Just not a needed hit, but it's here, I guess. Grass looks greener. This card should be banned, but 1 grass means that the likelihood of them seeing it is much lower. But additionally, it means that if you ash grass, it's not going to be a problem where they just drop the second one on you and you just lose the game. This card shouldn't exist, but seeing it at 1 means that hopefully people stop playing it. I doubt it, but no one likes grass decks. They just read, resolve grass, win the game. So good riddance to that. No, you won't be missed. Kelbeck to 1. Tier now has 1 of the mill cards instead of 2, or 3, I should say, because Agito was at, I believe, 1, and Kelbeck was at 2, so they've gone from 3 to 1, which is, solid. Less likelihood to high roll, but, Kelbeck's still a crazy card. And so there's still the potential to high roll. I'm not looking forward to that, but, it is what it is. It's significantly better than it was before. Jet to 1, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Jet to 1 seems a little silly. The problem card with Sprite is so clearly Elf, and I don't understand why they won't just ban it. But, whatever. If they're going to keep it legal, Jet to 1, I guess, produces even more grind for Sprite. I mean, these cards are great, but whatever. Jet to 1, they have neutered Sprite even further by putting Swap Frog to 1, which effectively kills the Frog engine in Sprite. There's no reason to go for Swap since you can't dump a second Swap in order to banish for Ronin Toted. If they really think this Frog engine in Sprite is a problem, they could just ban Ronin and, leave Swap Frog alone, but that is not the route that they have gone for, so rip Swap Frog, I guess. But that said, Swap to 1, I guess, kills the Frog engine, an engine that doesn't have Toad anymore, but whatever, I suppose. Rip to Swap Frog at 1. And then for the semi-limits and unlimits, they have placed Blaster at 2. I have never seen this card on ladder. I don't think you have either. But that said, he's at 2 now. Go nuts. Tempest is still at 1 for some reason, I think. But good for Blaster getting out of jail. Extra up to 2. I assume this is a Labyrinth hit. Or probably it's actually a Fluandereeze hit in all honesty, because Masterduel just despises the birds. Don't worry, I'm with you there, Masterduel. But this hit is probably for Lab. But you just play Prosperity in place of it, so it doesn't really change the math for Labyrinth at all. It's just sometimes you can open Prosperity instead of Extravagance. I'd prefer to play Prosperity anyways, so getting rid of the Pot of Greed is probably fine. Reducing the consistency that a Lab pilot will see it is pretty good. I'm not sure why, but this is a very OCG hit. Luster Pendulum, this card could be at 3. It doesn't change anything. This is mostly just a buff to Draco Slayer. They'll see their Luster Pendulum slightly more often. Good. It doesn't matter. Pendulum is bad. We're going into Kashtira meta. And subsequently, it doesn't really matter that you've placed Luster Pendulum at 2. Could be at 3. Doesn't matter. It's Pendulum. It's not going to be good. Deer Servant to 3. Again, you could have done this a while ago. The argument, I guess, is that Nadir Servant is a 1-card window. But the problem in that interaction is obviously window, because you can send App Cologne, search Schism. But the problem there is, again, obviously it's it's window. But that said, AFD to 3. You're probably only playing 1 AFD, but I guess if you're gonna leave what's his name, Diabolus legal, then obviously having it ripped out and your strategy completely destroyed is nice. But AFD to 3 doesn't really change anything, except I guess you have the option to play multiple copies. And Gearsu is Gearsu. I'm not concerned about Orcust in the slightest. But that said, hooray for you Orcust players. Masterduel's finally letting you play the deck at full power. But most importantly, I think the things that we have to talk about with this ban list are in about 3 weeks or so, we're going to get full power Kashtira. And if they don't do something about Diabolus before then, that deck is going to be unquestionably the best. I think even if you take Diabolus, the deck is still arguably the best. But that said, I think this is a ban list that is going to actually shake up the meta. I think Lab is in a better position, even if the way that the Masterduel ladder rewards you does not favor Lab. I think it'll be a stronger deck. But I think Sprite will still be good. I think Tier will finally start to fall off. I think people are a little sick of that deck just from TCG and OCG experiences just everywhere. But that said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.